We may have lost, but I'm wearing this jersey with pride. My name is Dan,
I'm Chris.
and welcome to Commanding Cause, the Washington-Baltimore area sports talk show where we primarily talk about football, but this week we're going to talk about Week 4, and we're going to talk about our predictions for Week 5 and our pick'em.
Alrighty, going into our first picks that we had last week. Starting it off, we both got it right with a Thursday night game. We got the Detroit Lions picked as the winners. We did get this up a little bit late, but we had everything picked beforehand. That's my bad as well.
It happens, but I do want to say apparently this is like the first time in Lions history, or at least in a long time, that a coach has beat the Packers 4 times. Well, 4 times in a row, I should say.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty great to see what the Lions can do if they can keep it up this season.
Yeah, I would not be unhappy if they made it to the Super Bowl. But I don't want to say anything right now. It's only Week 5. Falcons, Jaguars.
Toy Story game.
I did watch part of the Toy Story game, and it was interesting. I think just a side little note, it sounded like they were really just trying to make kids interested in football, which is pretty cool, like little kids. So
Yeah, it's kind of like what they do with the Nickelodeon game. I don't have a problem with it. Some people have issues with it, and it's for kids. I had the Jags, and you had the Falcons. I figured the Jags would win at their home stadium.
yeah, I don't remember exactly why I picked the Falcons, but I guess maybe I just had a little bit more faith.
No, I
But
think you thought they were going to use Bijan like they should, but they didn't do it properly. That's all it is. I agree.
yeah,
I agreed with what you were saying last week about the Falcons.
but then the Rams, Colts put up a good fight. They came back from a deficit.
Yeah, they did. The Colts are a good team. That's a scary team. If they keep it up, they might be able to maybe sneak into the wild card with how weird the AFC is being this year.
Well, the thing is, the standings right now, the AFC South, they're all tied, and the Colts are number one just purely based on their name. They're all 2-2, so that division is up for grabs this weekend.
That'll make things interesting. And then the Ravens went into Cleveland and put a stomping on the Browns. I know Deshaun Watson didn't play,
Yeah.
but that's you play who's in front of you, and I'm pretty happy with it. The defense looked better than the Browns defense. Browns defense looked good though.
Well, you're going to be at the next game that they play in Baltimore, so we'll see how that turns
We'll
out.
see how that goes as well.
Then the Vikings and the Panthers. Honestly, I was thinking this game could go either way, but the Vikings came out on top. I am surprised that the Panthers are 0-4 right now.
Anything can happen, and I guess that they're just not prepared yet. I just think they gotta get a couple years in to be able to mesh together to get that team the way it's supposed to be.
I bet DJ Moore wishes he never left.
I bet they wish that they still had DJ Moore.
What happened with the Bengals? What's going on with them
Yeah,
this year, period?
the Titans had the exact same score to them last week by the Browns, and they did it this week to the Bengals. I saw a comment that someone said that people have figured out Joe Burrow when I was reading our comments the other day, and that guy could be right 100%.
Maybe they're just playing down a competition, or maybe just the team isn't being disciplined, but who knows? I did want to say, though, the Buccaneers, I think maybe you swayed me over to picking the Bucks, but they are like the top of their division right now. They're like 3-1 or something like that.
Yeah, they're playing pretty good. It'll be interesting to see how it progresses throughout the year. Baker's showing that he can be a game manager. He's a good quarterback. He does take his shots down the field though, but he's got such a good receiving core that I don't understand why I did doubt the Bucks at the beginning of the year, because I did. I doubted the Buccaneers at the beginning of the year, but now I kind of
I
see
think it was
why
Baker.
people. Yeah, now I'm seeing that Baker's able to put up numbers with Mike Evans and everybody. I know Mike Evans is a great receiver. It's just great to see.
So I guess just on paper, I thought the Dolphins would win after their dominating performance against the Broncos, but the Bills came out on top.
Yeah, Bills put a stomping on the Dolphins. My nephew was excited. If he watches this video, you can make sure to put that in the comment section how excited you were about the Bills. He put some funny things in our group chat that I won't say on here about the Dolphins. Then we had the best game of the week, the Broncos versus the Bears, which it actually was a pretty good game. Broncos came back from a deficit and ended up winning. That was a really good game.
Someone had to win. My money was on the Broncos. Okay, so Commanders Eagles. Yes, we lost, but we had the lead. I think going into the half, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong about that. I expected the Eagles to win. I'm also just happy it wasn't a blowout because like we went into overtime, and if it weren't for an out of bounds catch from McLaurin, we wouldn't have punted, and they wouldn't have gotten the. I think they drilled in a 54-yarder, and they won it in overtime. I'm still proud of how our team bounced back from the Bills last week. So yes, we lost, but at the same time, I'm happy with the performance. I think there might have been like only 3 sacks compared to the 9 from last week. But also, just we didn't turn the ball over at all. I don't think any teams turned the ball over. And again, McLaurin, Samuel, Dotson, our whole receiving core was doing great. And obviously, offensive line is still our number one concern. But Sam Howell made a bounce back game. And again, I think maybe we lose Rivera this offseason. And if that's the case, Eric Bieniemy gets the head coach position. But we'll see. And there's my rant.
Oh no, that's a pretty good rant when it comes to the Commanders. Yeah, I thought the same thing. They put up a good fight against the Eagles. I did watch that game. One thing to mention is once that offensive line gets a little bit better, I think it'll be a lot. You'll see a big improvement once that offensive line gets better, because that offensive line is not that. That's what's hindering. I feel like the team right now.
It's what's hindered us for the last at least 10 years.
Then the Texans go and upset the Steelers.
Speaking of offensive lines, what happened there?
Greatness happened. Besides the injury, I do hope Kenny Pickett gets better. I don't wish injuries upon anybody, so.
No.
But the Texans put a whooping on the Steelers. I picked this kind of as an upset because I thought the Texans looked like a good team, and I thought that they could go in there and upset the Steelers, and they sure did. Hopefully, the Ravens can copy that and go in there and beat them.
Yeah, I mean, CJ Stroud, people are saying he's the real deal. I feel like the Texans finally do have another franchise quarterback, and hopefully he turns out better than Deshaun Watson in terms of off-field activities.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one.
Now, the reason I picked the Raiders against the Chargers was primarily because I thought the Chargers would shoot themselves in the foot again. We asked last week who's the worst coach, Brandon Staley or Josh McDaniel. It's Josh McDaniel.
Yeah.
But the rest of the games on the docket we correctly predicted. The Cardinals lost to the 49ers. Again, the Cowboys beat the Patriots, and they put a whipping on them. And now Cowboys fans are saying they're going to the Super Bowl again.
Just like I said last week would happen. Chiefs and Jets, people were talking about the holding and stuff like that. Chiefs beat them.
I'm just sick and tired of seeing Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce stuff on my Instagram.
Oh, did you know that the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are dating?
Wait, they are? Didn't the Seahawks Giants, that went as expected?
Yeah.
Nothing really else to say there.
I will say this much. This was the best week I've ever had on picks out of any time I've done picks before. I only got the Bengals game wrong, got every single other one correct. That is actually the best I've ever done. So I'm actually pretty proud of it.
I tip my hat to you.
Because you didn't even do bad. You only missed like 5 games. Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the ones that I missed were pretty much toss-ups. Because, again, the Raiders and the Chargers, I thought which one was going to just self-destruct more. Yep. The Bills and the Dolphins, they're both good. It was kind of just basically who was going to get it. And the Jags and the Falcons. The Jags were disappointing me the past couple weeks, but we'll see what happens. Any teams that you want to note right now with an asterisk or an exclamation point? I
want to see how the Buccaneers continue to go. I'm a little bit worried for Commanders when it comes to Sam Howell and that offensive line. I'm scared he's going to end up getting injured this year. And when it comes to the Ravens, one thing to bring up about them, we go into Pittsburgh this week. If we can walk away with a win, that puts us at 3-0 in the division and all away games, which are all games that I every year say are going to be losses. I always say it's going to be a loss when we play away against the Browns, Bengals, and Steelers. But they've gone in, they've played really good. Let's just hope that they can keep this energy up for the rest of the season as well.
I mean, some teams that I just want to mention with an asterisk, again, the Cowboys. They're beating teams they should be. We'll see what happens this next week with the 49ers. Ooh. The Bengals, don't really know what's going on here. Chiefs, I don't know. I mean, watch them win the Super Bowl again this year. But again, there's some cracks in the armor that are starting to appear. I think primarily with their wide receiver core. Yeah. I mean, Travis Kelce is great, but
they definitely need an option too.
But some teams to mention with an exclamation point, the Lions, man. They are the kings of the North right now in the NFC. Good on them. The Seahawks and the Rams and the 49ers, I wouldn't be surprised if they all made the playoffs. Just to be honest with you.
I could definitely see that.
Also, the Browns and the Steelers are tied in division. I know you're not a Browns fan, but I will just say, I mean, the Browns, we thought they'd be dead last in the division. Them or Pittsburgh. So the fact that they're 2-2 right now and they're ahead of the Bengals is pretty surprising.
The only thing I did say is I thought Deshaun Watson would look better this year, and I don't want him to, like at all, just being blunt. I don't want him to look good, but he's not really looking that great, to be 100% honest with you. Their defense, Myles Garrett, man, is just Zadarius Smith. They're just killing it.
Well, and considering they lost Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
But at any rate, let's go ahead and do our pick'ems for week 5.
Let's start out with your boys. In Washington, we got the Commanders going against the Bears. I am going with the Commanders on this because, yeah, they should win this game.
Yeah, they better win this game because my wife texted me earlier today and she was like, "Oh, wait, yeah, Washington's playing Thursday Night Football against the Bears. Who do you think's going to win?" I'm like, "We better win." And I kind of went into the whole spiel about why Chicago is just not good right now. Now that Snyder's gone, you can kind of make the argument that like people like Jim Irsay, Dean Spanos, Jimmy Haslam, they're like the new worst owners in the league. People forget the McCaskies have been really awful at running a football team since, I mean, they won the Super Bowl in '85, but it's been almost 40 years.
So I know the Bears did go to the Super Bowl against the Colts, I want to say.
2007, yeah.
2007, yeah.
Every head coach that they've had since Lovie Smith has had a losing record, to my knowledge. But Commanders, let's go Commanders. Jags, Bills. I'm going Bills. I think for a lot of picks this this week, we're pretty much the same. There's only a couple we're really disagreeing on, but yeah, the Bills are just they're a more consistent team.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. The Bills look a lot better than the Jaguars do currently. I think the Jaguars will look pretty decent. This is another 9:30 game, so the Jaguars could upset the Bills because they could still be down there from last week.
Did the Jags just spend the whole week in London? I would not be surprised.
Yeah, that's what I would do if I was them, just to stay acclimated to like the time and stuff. That I use that as an advantage for the game. So we got Titans at Colts next. AFC South, like you're saying, they're all tied 2-2. I'm gonna have the Colts on this just because they've showed some gritty football here recently, and I think they're looking pretty good. Not to say the Titans aren't really looking that good either. I mean, they're actually looking pretty defensively, and if Derrick Henry has a good game, they have a good game.
Yeah, the Titans we thought were going to be a number 1 pick contention this year, and they're not doing as bad as we thought they would. Is D-Hop playing with them, or is he still injured?
I'm not too sure on that one, to be honest with you.
Honestly, I feel like this could go either way, but I am going to give the slight edge to the Colts just because I feel like Anthony Richardson is on the upturn and Ryan Tannehill's on the downturn.
Yep, no, I 100% agree.
Which, by the way, I feel like the NFL world has completely already forgotten about Will Levis, just in general.
Yeah, they
I
definitely.
don't know if he's played at all, but
They definitely have. I agree with that. And then you got Texans at Falcons. So I think I'm going with the Texans on this one. I'm going to stick with them after they put the beating on the Steelers last week. Just that defense showed me a lot of progress. They showed me in the Ravens game when we played against them that they were going to be a pretty good team as well. And I think the Falcons are going to try to run the ball on them. So I just think it'll be an upset with the Texans winning this.
yeah, I mean, Atlanta is favored to win. I also agree that the Texans are surprising people. I think currently CJ Stroud is better than Desmond Ritter.
Yep.
And really, it could go either way, but I think right now the quarterback's going to determine this. If the Falcons decide to play Bijan, maybe it's a different story. But
100% agree with that. And speaking of rookie quarterbacks, we got the Carolina Panthers taking on the Detroit Lions. Yeah, I think we're both probably going to pick Detroit on this. Carolina has not looked good at all, and Detroit has looked like one of the better teams in the NFC.
you said everything I was going to say there. That's just this might be the first time in history anyone's ever said this is an easy Lions win. All right, then we got the Saints and the Patriots, which right now I feel like the Saints are the better team, but with Derek Carr out, I don't know if that really affects anything. What do you think?
Yeah, he is still out. That is true. So I actually think I'm going to end up going with the Patriots on this one. Mainly because I think that defense with Matt Judon and all them is going to get after him. Yeah, I don't have much faith in Mac Jones, but I personally think the Patriots could get out there early and just blitz a lot and just kind of disrupt what they want to do on offense.
I feel it. I'm still going to go with the Saints just because I think Kamara's back. I think Michael Thomas is back, unless I'm wrong. But yeah, I just think the Saints are an overall better team, but I can see your points. But then we got the Giants playing the Dolphins. I'm just going to say the Dolphins are going to win this. Would you disagree?
Yeah, how much do you think they're going to win it by?
The Dolphins are coming off of that game against the Bills where they probably really feel disappointed in themselves. They're going to come back with a vengeance this week. I would say at least 30-point beatdown. The Giants have just not been good this year
I would
at
say,
all.
who's worse, the Giants or the Bears?
I think organizationally, it's the Bears, but in terms of everything else, probably the Giants.
Yeah, Giants has just not looked good this year at all.
I think Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones, just to be honest with you.
I
He doesn't
100%
have
agree with
really
that.
anything to work with.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins are going to put a stomping on the Giants. Then we have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers at Pittsburgh. We are favored to win. Don't like that. Steelers don't look that great. Kenny Pickett's going to be out, I do believe. So I personally think the Ravens are going to win this one. I don't think it'll be a beatdown. I think it's going to be a game by 7 or something like that because I think the Steelers are going to play us well. Doesn't matter who they have at quarterback. Somehow they'll make a way to get 2 touchdowns on our defense randomly.
OBJ's still out, but even still, Zay Flowers, man. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, I kind of expect the OBJ to miss a couple games this year, so pretty happy with that our offense didn't revolve around him so that we have Zay Flowers to be able to get in. And Mark Andrews looked really nice, too.
But I'm also, in case I didn't say it earlier, picking the Ravens here. This is a game, this next game, that we have disagreed on, and I'm interested to know why. Bengals playing the Cardinals. They're both 1-3. I say the Bengals win, but my asterisk is based on Joe Burrow. But who are you picking?
I am picking the Cardinals on this one, mainly because I think that defense is actually going to get after Joe Burrow. And I don't think the Bengals' defense is that great anymore. I thought they actually had a pretty good defense there for a little bit, but they really haven't looked that good. Titans are not a good team, and go out there and get embarrassed by the Titans, in my opinion. I think the same thing's going to happen this week. I think the Cardinals are just going to get after them. They're going to try to overlook. I think the Bengals are cocky at the end of the day. And I think they're overlooking some of these opponents that they should beat. And I also think there's a big injury going on with Joe Burrow that they need to check in on. Or, like I said earlier, maybe people figured out his play style. Not entirely sure on that.
Yeah, I agree. The Bengals are getting a little too big for their britches, honestly, I think. I mean, they were bad for so long, and they made it to the Super Bowl, and I mean, it's something to be proud of, but they didn't win, so that's another story. But at the same time, they made the AFC Championship last year. I personally don't think they're going to make it again this year, unless they really bounce back. But we'll see what happens. But I do think that the Bengals, just on paper, are a better team than the Cardinals. I think
Absolutely.
I think the Cardinals are good. It really depends on Joe Burrow and that offensive line. We'll see what happens. But this next one we also disagreed on, the Eagles and the Rams.
I think Puka is going to put up 2 touchdowns on that Eagles defense. And I think Washington showed how to score on the Eagles defense in that game personally. So I think the Rams take advantage of it. And I think Puka's going to go off.
You know what? You swayed me. I'm going to go with the Rams. I was going to pick the Eagles because I thought on paper they're a better team. But yeah, you made a good point. I mean, I watched that entire Commanders game, and there were some cracks in the armor there again. So the Rams, I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl again this year, but something worth noting, I feel like they can beat the Eagles.
I think they can too. The Rams are a good team, and I think a lot of teams are going to overlook them, unfortunately.
Well, and then okay, Jets Broncos. I'm saying the Broncos because I feel like the Jets are just kind of imploding, whereas the Broncos the mushroom cloud is starting to dispense a little bit.
I think those comments Sean Payton made are going to have the Jets fired up. I just think the Broncos' woes continue, and they lose to the Jets.
Yeah, I just feel like the Broncos, I think finally getting a win is going to motivate them a little bit here, but I agree with what you said. The Jets are probably going to be hankering for a win here, but, I mean, it could go either way. I mean, just based on paper, again, Russell Wilson is the better quarterback than Zach Wilson. That's like no discussion there. I say the Broncos get their second win in a row, and it brings their confidence up. I, again, don't even think they're going to make the playoffs this year, but just a thought there.
Then we got Chiefs at Vikings next.
Vikings are terrible. Chiefs are going to win this. Move on.
Yeah, that's basically it. Chiefs did show that they don't look too great, that they need some wide receivers. I think they're going to try to pick up Chase Claypool.
After the first week when they lost to the Lions, I think I said to you on here, watch them try to trade for Mike Evans if Tampa does terrible this year, but Tampa's doing pretty good, so they ain't getting Mike Evans, I don't think, unless they throw everything but the kitchen sink at him.
Mike Evans with Patrick Mahomes would be... I think he would shatter records.
Go ahead and give him the ring now.
Yeah, basically.
All right, so now we got them Cowboys going to Santa Clara and playing them 49ers, that kryptonite of theirs. Just want to point out, the 49ers and the Eagles are the only undefeated teams left in the league. Everything that I've seen from the 49ers, everything everyone's been talking about, they're going to win.
Yeah.
It may be closer than I'm expecting, but they're going to beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys' red zone offense is what everybody's talking about as well, and it is not looking good. I think the 49ers just have too many ways to hit you. That's why I predicted them to go to the Super Bowl this year, and I'm going to stick with it. I think they're going to walk away with the dub against the Cowboys.
I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers made the Super Bowl this year. Them or the Lions, or the Rams, honestly.
Rams are my dark horse. They're growing on me, and I'm kind of hoping that they do make it.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you said there. But I mean, I think the safe choice is the 49ers. The dark horse definitely being the Rams, and I feel like the one that everyone secretly hopes is the Lions.
Oh yeah.
All right, but then we got Monday Night Football, which my note here, well, this is probably going to be the least watched Monday Night Football game this season. I mean, each team has their fan base, but I just don't think that the rest of America is going to care.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna watch one of those fan bases creators. That's how I watch those games a lot of the time. So I'll watch his
I hear
live
you're talking
streams
about.
and watch him do it. But I hope his team wins. That's why I'm picking with the Green Bay Packers on this one.
Yeah, I think the Packers have shown they're the better team right now. Jordan Love is not perfect, but he's pretty darn good.
Raiders got some stuff going on right now internally. I don't know what's going on with the whole Chandler Jones situation. I'm not going to make a joke about it or anything. I just hope that whatever's going on gets better. Yeah, because that looks like a very sticky situation right now.
Well, on that note, on a more positive note, thank you all for watching and continuing to support the channel. Thank you for everyone who's commented, watched the videos, giving it a like, subscribed. We really enjoy making this content. We really love talking about football with all of you. And yeah, let us know in the comments what you think is going to happen this week.
Yeah, make sure to drop those picks down in the comments. I want to see how you guys are doing. Make sure to drop those likes, comment on the video, and subscribe if you like the content. And maybe we'll have some more stuff coming out here soon. We'll figure that out. But until next time, see you guys.